Right before the wedding, Ethan King's first love, Lily Hart, posted a photo on her social feed, a sapphire diamond ring. I glanced at it and immediately recognized it. It was the wedding ring for Ethan and me. There was only one in the world, and I had designed it myself. Yet now it was on her hand. I spent the entire night thinking about it, and the next morning, I calmly told him I wanted to break up. Ethan's expression didn't change. Nora Lane, we're about to get married. Think this through. Don't do something you'll regret. I said, I won't regret it. Later, one night when he was drunk, Ethan called me. Nora, where are you? I came home and couldn't find you. When I saw Lily's post on her social feed, I immediately told Ethan I wanted to break up. He froze for a moment. Break up? Our wedding is in half a month, the invitations have all been sent, and you're saying this now? I didn't answer. I took out a prepared list of belongings from my bag, unfolded it, and placed it in front of him. Yes. If we break up, I won't take anything from you. I just want to leave you. I was 24 when I got engaged to Ethan, who was 27. After that, we moved in together. I always believed marriage between us was certain, so during the 2 years we lived together, I accepted everything he gave me, from handbags and jewelry to shares and property. Now that we were breaking up, these things needed to be settled clearly. Ethan casually flipped through a few pages, then calmly set the list aside. After a slight pause, he said, Is it because Lily was wearing your ring? I'm sorry, I didn't know it was the wedding ring. I've already asked my assistant to take it back. You'll get it soon. He remained composed, but I could not hold back my anger. That wedding ring took me half a year to craft by hand. It held all my effort and all my faith in love. When I finished it, I couldn't even bear to wear it. I kept it in the safe, waiting to take it out on our wedding day. Yet in just half a month of my absence, Ethan had given it to Lily. God. Only I knew how devastated I was when I saw that ring on her finger, and he dismissed it with one light sentence. I didn't know. Did he truly not know? Could one "I didn't know" erase everything? I shouted at him, furious. Enough. This time it's the wedding ring. What about next time? Should I give her my place as Mrs. King too? If that's the case, maybe I should be sensible and step aside now. Wouldn't that make things easier for her? He looked up, displeasure in his eyes, as if he couldn't understand why I was reacting so strongly. In a lecturing tone, he said, If this is just jealousy, there's no need for it. You should know that in our marriage, benefits matter more than love. No one can take your position as Mrs. King. I'll let this go once, but don't mention breaking up again. Just be a good Mrs. King. Then he took out a bank card and pushed it toward me. There's $5 million in it. Consider it compensation. I stared at the card coldly, my thoughts pausing for a moment. Ethan was the type who always separated personal matters from business, even in marriage, placing the benefit above all else. When we first met, he was distant and cold. After we became more familiar, he began making demands, wanting me to train myself according to the standards of a wealthy family's matriarch. But he forgot that a matriarch only needs to be elegant and dignified. I, as his fiancée, loved him. Because of that, I could never be as cold as he was, and I could never accept that a third person would exist in my future marriage, especially when that third person was Lily, his first love, the girl he had longed for in his youth but never could have. A tear fell onto the back of my hand, jolting me awake. I wiped my tears, pushed the card back to him, and smiled faintly. There's no need, Mr. King. We're not suitable. Breaking up is still the best choice. No one had ever refused Ethan King, yet I did, again and again. He was an outstanding figure in the financial world, admired by everyone, arrogant by nature. Yet when I brought up breaking up again, he didn't hesitate at all. Fine, but don't regret it. What's been given is like water spilled. I don't need any of it back. Ethan King never lacked money anyway. I picked up the list of assets and casually took the bank card as well. All right, I won't regret it. I already called a moving company. Things may get a bit noisy in a moment, please understand. Ethan lit a cigarette, his expression indifferent. It's fine. After saying that, I turned around and left the room. The movers walked in behind me and began clearing out everything that belonged to a woman in that house. In the bedroom, I gathered all my jewelry and valuables into the safe and reminded them carefully, please handle everything gently. There are fragile items inside. 3 hours later, the villa suddenly looked empty. I turned back to look at the place I had lived in for 3 years. At the corner of my eye, I saw Ethan leaning against the doorframe, head lowered, his expression unreadable. I didn't intend to say goodbye. I turned away to leave, but suddenly noticed Lily Hart had arrived. She walked toward me with tears in her eyes, grabbed my hand, and spoke in a voice sweet enough to drip honey. "Miss Lane, I'm really sorry. I didn't know the ring meant so much to you. I just thought it was beautiful, so I asked A. King to give it to me. At the time, I thought you had so many rings anyway. Not like me, I don't have anything. I thought you wouldn't mind. Please don't be mad. I'll return it to you now." She reached for the ring, but after fumbling for a while, she still couldn't get it off, only making her finger turn red. I was so angry I laughed. This was an apology? It was clearly provocation. If she truly wanted to apologize, why would she dare walk in here wearing my wedding ring? And now she was pretending to be pitiful, obviously to attract someone's attention. Sure enough, a moment later, Ethan stepped forward. He pulled Lily's hand back protectively, worry written all over his face. "If it won't come off, forget it. Don't hurt your hand. Nora, I'll pay you $3 million to buy it back." Hearing that, Lily immediately looked at Ethan with deeply emotional eyes, full of affection. I stood right in front of them, watching that disgusting display, my vision turning red with fury. "I'm not selling it. That's the wedding ring I designed for myself. Take it off. Now." Ethan frowned, clearly annoyed. Lily tucked herself against his arm sweetly and said gently, as if she were considerate and understanding, "A. King, it originally belongs to Ms. Lane. I should return it to her." Then she went into the bathroom, used soap to wet her hand, removed the ring and handed it to me. I reached out to take it, but the moment I saw the ring clearly, my anger flared. "You altered the ring." She flinched and hid behind Ethan. "It was a little loose on me, so I tightened it a bit." "I'm sorry. I'll find a designer to fix it for you right away." I couldn't hold it in anymore. I slapped her across the face. "You made it smaller. How are you going to restore it to its original shape? Lily Hart, you're disgusting." "Nora Lane," Ethan shouted, stepping in front of Lily as if protecting a priceless treasure. "Don't go too far. I gave her the ring. Why are you blaming her instead of me?" I looked at him with cold eyes, suddenly remembering who the real culprit was. So I raised my hand and slapped him too. Ethan's face darkened immediately. "Did you think I didn't find you disgusting as well? You and Lily, both equally revolting. Get out of my sight. Don't ever appear in front of me again." With that, I walked away with the movers, not caring at all about either of their expressions. After moving into my new place, my best friend Vanna Hall came to help me unpack. The moment I saw her, all the grievances I had been holding in surged up. I threw my arms around Vanna and burst into loud sobs. "Vanna, the ring I spent half a year making was worn by that bitch." She cursed angrily while patting my back to comfort me. All right, it's fine. I'll make you another one." I cried for a long while before finally calming down. The new apartment was still a mess. I wiped my tears and started tidying up. Even inside the safe, everything was jumbled. Jewelry clattered together noisily. With just one glance, I saw the engagement gift Ethan had given me, a jade bracelet. The two translucent green eyes that made it sparkle had now shattered into several pieces, just like our relationship. Crushed, beyond repair. Ethan and I had been matched because his mother pushed for it. My mother and Mrs. King were close friends from college. When I was little, my mom often brought me to visit her. The first time Mrs. King saw me, she was delighted and joked that she wanted me as her daughter-in-law. She even told Ethan to take me out to play. My family wasn't as wealthy as theirs, so my mother always told me to be nice to Ethan and make him happy, but he was cold and distant by nature. Most of the time, we just sat silently in a room, each doing our own thing. Yet the young girl I was back then still liked that handsome, aloof boy. I once thought he would always be that way, indifferent to everyone. Until he was 17 and met Lily Hart. The two of them fell in love openly at school. It was hard to imagine that a wealthy heir like Ethan, raised under strict discipline, could get into fights and skip classes because of her. Mr. King even tried to force them apart and planned to send Ethan abroad. But Ethan insisted, "Lily is the light of my life. I won't need anyone else but her." But Lily came from a troubled background. Her mother was the mistress of a newly rich man, and Lily was the illegitimate child. The King family would never allow a girl like that to marry in. So Mrs. King stepped in, gave Lily $3 million, and arranged for her to study overseas, on the condition that she break up with Ethan. Lily accepted the money and left without hesitation. After that, Ethan resented his mother deeply. He spiraled for half a year before suddenly pulling himself together right before the college entrance exams. But his relationship with his family was never the same. When I was 23, I had no idea why he suddenly softened and agreed to get to know me. From there, things naturally progressed. We dated, got engaged, moved in together. And now that he had become successful and taken control of the Thing family, his old lover had returned. Of course, Ethan would be eager to revive their past relationship. Tears dripped one by one as I picked up the jade bracelet and threw it straight into the trash. A relationship that should have ended but didn't will only turn into a tangled mess. Better to cut it clean with one sharp stroke. The next day, Vanna and I bought plane tickets and flew straight to Tampa Bay for a vacation. The scenery there was truly soothing, and the underwater world was breathtakingly beautiful. That day, while we were sunbathing on the beach, my phone suddenly received a friend request. I had a bad feeling it had to be Lily. And sure enough, I had blocked her last time, and now she was adding me again using a secondary account. A second later, she sent a photo of a ring, her tone full of bragging. "Miss Lane, it seems A. King cares about me more, doesn't he?" At the same moment, Vanna suddenly shrieked and ran toward me with her phone. "Nora, you have to see this. That shameless butch is unbelievable." I grabbed her phone. Lily had just posted on Weibo a photo of her teary eyes and, on her ring finger, a huge sparkling diamond ring. The caption read, "I knew you would never let me suffer even the slightest grievance, not after all those years abroad." She had become a fairly well-known internet influencer, and the comment section was full of fans excitedly shipping her with some mysterious man, guessing who the male lead was. Seeing Lily openly provoke me, Vanna immediately jumped into the comments and cursed her out. "You're really bragging when you're the mistress? Your mom was a mistress. Are you planning to take after her too? Is being a homewrecker hereditary in your family? Like mother, like daughter? And look at that nose of yours. Crooked as hell. Go get it fixed before it's too late." Listen to the full drama on the Golden Pot channel. I took Vanna's phone and opened Lily's profile. It was filled with traces of her and Ethan, all lovey-dovey moments. The earliest could be traced back to Valentine's Day 6 months ago. That day, Ethan was at an amusement park with her, watching fireworks. My heart felt like it was being pricked by needles. We were supposed to go out for Valentine's Day that day, but I had come down with a fever so high I couldn't get out of bed. When Ethan learned I was sick, he only said indifferently, "Then cancel the reservation. Stay home and rest." I felt disappointed and hurt. I wanted to say more, but he'd already hung up. He didn't even send me a message afterward to check on me. I had thought he was busy with work. Who knew he was out watching fireworks with Lily? The truth was, I'd known for a long time that something was wrong between us. Ever since the beginning of this year, when Lily returned to the country, I could feel Ethan's growing indifference and distraction. Because of that, he and I fought many times. But every time, he would intentionally ignore the issue, then buy me handbags or jewelry to calm me down. Caught in that exhausting push-and-pull cycle, I had struggled and hesitated for half a year. I turned off my phone and took a deep breath. My emotions slowly settled. Whatever was going on between Ethan and Lily no longer had anything to do with me. After a week of traveling, my mother found out that Ethan and I had broken up and immediately called me. She talked for a long time, telling me again and again not to be petty, repeatedly emphasizing that Ethan was powerful and influential, and insisting over and over that it was normal for a man like him to have a few women around him. She said I should be generous, that holding on to the position of Mrs. King was what mattered most. Her words made me feel utterly miserable. "But Mom, I've liked Ethan for 12 years. It hurts. I can't accept him having another woman beside him." The line suddenly went silent. After a long pause, I heard Ethan's voice. "My relationship with Lily isn't what you think. Come back, I can explain." He paused as if yielding a little. Nora, you're the only one beside me. In the end, I did go back. But it wasn't because of Ethan's words. It was because Mrs. King wanted to see me. She had always treated me kindly, and I didn't want to disappoint her. When I arrived at the King residence, Ethan was sitting on the sofa drinking tea and watching financial news. In the living room, Mrs. King gently took my hand. Nora, did A. King make you upset again? Tell me, I'll teach him a lesson for you. Hearing that, I glanced at Ethan. He remained calm, sipping his tea. He still hadn't told her we had broken up? After hesitating a moment, I spoke. Mrs. King, Ethan and I already broke up. A sharp clatter sounded immediately. The teacup in Ethan's hand scraped hard against the table, leaving a long scratch. He turned his head and looked at me coldly. Are you serious? Breaking up with me? Then what about your company? Mrs. King was stunned. Nora, what is this? Do you really have to break up? I clenched my hands together and gave her a reassuring smile. It's nothing, Mrs. King. We're just not compatible. Thank you for all the help the Kings have given my family's company. From now on, we won't trouble you anymore. Mrs. King, I should head home now. I should head home first, Mrs. King. I'll come visit you again later. When I got home, my mother angrily threw a cup at my feet. What is wrong with you? I've told you already, whether Ethan has another woman or not, doesn't matter. You are the legitimate wife. Stop being so petty. I pressed my lips together and stayed silent. My family owned a small company, not wealthy, but comfortable enough. Since I was young, my mother had polished my appearance, made me learn piano, dance, calligraphy, doing everything she could to mold me into a refined young lady. Her goal was simple: marry me into a wealthy family so I could change my fate. Seeing me hang my head in silence, she grew irritated. You've ruined my dream of marrying into high society. All these years I've worked so hard to build connections with those rich families, completely wasted. She was so furious she dropped onto the sofa, her chest rising and falling sharply. I stepped forward and gently massaged her temples. Mom, I don't want to keep living in a way where I have to endure and swallow everything anymore. She was quiet for a long moment before finally sighing. Ethan is already the cleanest man you'll ever find in that circle. Seeing my mother like that made my heart ache. Yes, she was obsessed with social status, but she had always treated me well. I was her only child, and she poured everything she had into me. Don't worry, Mom. I'll work hard so you can live like a wealthy lady someday. I coaxed her softly until she finally smiled. If you can't even handle a little grievance, how will you survive real hardship? I didn't tell her that my time with Ethan had taught me many things. The next day, I went to our family's company and began learning the business. 1 month later, I started my own venture, registering a small company. My family specialized in traditional women's clothing, but I wanted to create youthful designs, trendier, stylish, and leaning toward affordable luxury. Back when I was with Ethan, I often wandered around malls. Without realizing it, it sharpened my eye for aesthetics and gave me a strong sense of style. 3 months after my company launched, one of our winter coats suddenly went viral during a live stream. Orders poured in, an incredible start, but problems quickly followed. The factory reported they couldn't produce such a large quantity in a short time. Without inventory, we couldn't ship on time. If customers waited too long, they would return the items, and my brand's freshly built reputation would collapse. I called the factory, but they hesitated and subtly asked if I had offended anyone recently. Offended who? I had no idea who I could have offended. I thought about it all the way until night. Lying in bed scrolling through my phone, I came across Lily Hart's account. She was wearing a coat identical to the one from my live stream and even attached the purchase link below. I was so enraged my blood boiled. I called Ethan immediately and told him to keep that woman under control. After listening, he simply replied flatly, "What Lily does has nothing to do with me. But Nora, I can help you solve this. All you have to do is come back." Daydreaming, absolutely delusional. I laughed angrily. Come back to your mother. Even after cursing him out, I still wasn't satisfied, so I cursed out Lily as well. But just then, Ethan called. I hung up. He called again, and again, over and over. What do you want? Hearing my harsh tone, he hesitated for a moment. Nora, I'm downstairs. Come down, we need to talk. I got up and went downstairs. He was leaning against his car, smoking. When he saw me, he immediately straightened up and put out the cigarette. I frowned, already impatient. What? He looked exhausted and pressed his fingers to his forehead. Nora, he said, what happened between me and Lily was in the past. There's nothing left between us. I hope you stop overthinking. This will affect our relationship. I looked at him coldly. Relationship? What relationship? You mean the kind where I had a high fever on Valentine's Day and you went to watch fireworks with Lily? Or the kind where you gave her my wedding ring? I'm giving you to her now. Is that what you're unhappy about? Hearing that, Ethan fell silent and lit a cigarette. You know, she used to be the person I cared for most. I just wanted to say goodbye to my past. Can't I even have a moment to reminisce? He paused. The wedding ring was my fault. I'm sorry. Come home, Nora. These days without you, I really don't feel right. He lowered his eyes. Rarely did he humble that arrogant head of his. While I'd been gone, the villa had felt empty. Every time he came home, he no longer saw my bright smile, no longer heard my gentle questions. Back then, before we were together, he didn't think much of it. But when I left, he finally realized the loneliness, the fear of that cold, empty house, so much that he didn't want to return to a place without me. Only where I was could be called home. But all I felt was disgust. Ethan had always been decisive in business. I never expected him to be so entangled and messy when it came to love. In that moment, his whole body was shrouded in loneliness, as if he were truly heartbroken. Maybe he really did know he was wrong, but so what? I had sent him the photo of the ring I designed. He knew it was our wedding ring. It had always been kept in the safe in our bedroom. Yet he still brought Lily into our home, even into our bedroom, and watched calmly as she put my ring on her hand. Maybe for a moment he remembered something beautiful from their past and let her take it. Or maybe he was the one who handed it to her himself, trying to make up for some regret from his youth. But no matter which it was, I could not accept it. Both possibilities proved one thing. He and Lily were still entangled. So what was I between them? Hadn't they supposedly been over long ago? Why was he reminiscing while he was supposed to be with me? Ethan, so arrogant and self-important, had always assumed Lily would never abandon him. Yet she had taken the money and left, leaving him with years of love and hatred. At 27, he thought he had moved on, which was why he got engaged to me. But when she returned, his eyes still followed her. He was already engaged to me, yet he still let her get close. Now they had rekindled their old romance, so what was I? The sorrow on my face made him panic. He reached out and pulled me into a tight embrace, his voice weak and desperate. No, it's not like that. I never thought of leaving you, but right or wrong, none of that matters anymore. I pushed him away with force. Control Lily, make sure she never appears in front of me again and disgusts me. If not, I won't be able to stop myself from hitting her. And you, don't show up in front of me again either. Ethan's eyes reddened, full of confusion. Nora, you've changed. You used to like me so much. I met his gaze directly. You said it yourself, used to. I haven't changed, I just don't like you anymore. Ethan froze, his whole body stiffened before he walked away, looking shattered, as if his soul had left him. The next day, the news of the King family heir publicly confirming his relationship shot straight to the top of the trending searches. Lily posted a Weibo update and even sent me several photos of the two of them holding hands, clearly trying to provoke me. I ignored it. But not long after, she showed up at my company. Oh? Isn't this Miss Lane? Long time no see. I switched to another seat across from her. What do you want from me? She gave me an arrogant smile, slowly set her purse down, then ordered 2 coffees. I heard you've been starting your own business lately. Ed King gave me some money, and I'm bored anyway. Why don't you sell your company to me? I want to play around with it. Blood rushed straight to my head. I had built my company from nothing, piece by piece, and she wanted to buy it just to play with it? If there's nothing else, I'm leaving. I stood up, but she grabbed my sleeve, pretending to look innocent. Oh, don't be mad. I actually wanted to ask, how did you take care of A. King? He still misses you a lot, you know? I didn't answer. She then boldly stood up, leaned in close to me, and whispered, Have you slept with him yet? How was it? I already slept with him back in high school. Took me a lot of effort to train him back then. You really got the benefits from everything I taught him. You done talking? I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed the coffee cup and threw it straight at her. Lily was drenched in coffee, yet she still forced out a provocative smile and mouthed, "You're done for." "Lily, what are you doing?" A voice came from the entrance. The next second, Ethan King strode in. He immediately pulled Lily into his arms, shielding her, his eyes alert and defensive as he looked at me. "Nora, didn't we end things peacefully? Why are you still causing trouble for Lily?" I didn't bother responding and turned to leave, but Ethan yanked my arm hard and pulled me back, anger flashing across his face. "Apologize to Lily, now." I stared at him, disbelief coursing through me. "Why should I apologize? She's the one who acted disgusting first." "Nora, I said apologize." Ethan raised his voice, as if he had reached his limit. "No one here will tolerate your behavior." At that moment, Lily gently stroked his arm, pretending to be understanding and kind. "It's okay, King. She was just upset and splashed coffee in the heat of the moment. I believe she knows she's wrong. I don't blame her." I was shaking with rage. I glared straight at Ethan, who didn't back down either, staring right back at me. "Fine. You want an apology?" I lifted my voice. "Sorry." Then I yanked my arm out of Ethan's grip. "Happy now?" Then I added, loud enough for both of them to hear, "By the way, Lily told me she slept with you back in high school and that your skills were awful. She said she had to train you for a while. She also asked me whether you even know how to pleasure me." I snorted. "Of course you don't. Your skills can't even compare to the male escorts at a nightclub." After letting out those satisfying lines, I spun around and bolted toward the door. At the entrance, I suddenly turned back and shouted, "Apologize to your mother. I will never apologize to a scumbag man and a cheap woman like you two. You're truly a match made in heaven. Lock yourselves together and live your pathetic little life." I walked off, leaving Ethan's furious shouting fading behind me, growing more distant with every step. Back at my company, I sat down and went through all the files I had organized. They documented every entanglement between Lily and Ethan, with special emphasis on Lily knowing full well she was the third party, yet still forcing herself in. Originally, I planned to use them to threaten her into behaving. But after thinking for a moment, I closed my laptop. If no one touches me, I won't touch them. If Lily keeps playing games, I'll make her pay. After dealing with that, I returned to solving the coat problem. Eventually, Ethan did stop Lily from interfering further. The manufacturer delivered the goods on time. To minimize risks, I stocked up on a large amount of backup inventory. Then I began contacting my father's factory. I wanted to ask my dad to open a new factory dedicated to supplying my company. Using our own facility would always be more reliable. Right after that, Vanna introduced me to two very trustworthy fashion designers who could work part-time. Their base salary wasn't high, but they could earn commission. They worked incredibly hard. Within a month, they had produced more than a dozen new designs for me. From supply chain to live stream sales, I gradually built a complete operating system. Hearing that I planned to open a factory, my mother carried her crocodile skin Hermes bag to the site every day, circling the place to supervise progress. I trusted her completely. When my father first started his business, she helped him a lot. But before we even finished settling things on that side, trouble exploded online. Lily Hart bought several pieces of my clothing, then filmed an entire video exposing them, especially the winter coat that had become our best seller. She tore it apart viciously. "Babies, look at this. The streamer said it doesn't attract pet hair, but look. I just hugged my cat once and it's covered. And this shape? So baggy, so loose, makes me look pregnant or something. And my body is gorgeous. If it looks bad on me, then it'll definitely look bad on you girls. Avoid it. Don't buy it. And these dresses? God, the thread came loose before I even put them on. Such terrible quality. Look at this stitching." At the end of the video, she even rallied her followers. Yenchi style owes us an explanation, labeling it as light luxury to trick consumers? An 899 yuan coat with this quality? Give us justice. Refund us. I watched the whole video coldly. The comments were filled with insults. In my live stream, a wave of trolls flooded in immediately, spewing vile words aimed directly at me. My female MC's eyes turned red as she tried to keep her voice steady and continue presenting the products. Meanwhile, the back-end system kept showing more and more return requests. I waved my hand, telling her to stop the live stream and rest. After thinking for a moment, I pulled my laptop in front of the camera. If she wanted drama, I'd give her a full storm. Hello everyone, I'm the founder of Yen Chi's Style. I disagree with the review posted by blogger Lily Hart. I believe it is defamation. First, let me tell you about the relationship between us. Not long ago, she and Mr. Ethan King, the chairman of King Corporation, announced their relationship publicly and received countless congratulations. But ironically, Ethan King was my former fiancé. We were engaged for 3 years, and right before our wedding, Lily knowingly stepped in and took my fiancé. She even took my wedding ring. The comment section exploded instantly. What the hell? This drama is insane. Streamer, keep going, don't stop. I knew it. Lily always dressed like a rich woman. Why would she suddenly buy cheap clothes just to review them? No wonder, there's a twist. Public opinion started shifting. I carefully recounted every entanglement between us. The operations team moved quickly, immediately clipping a segment titled, "Shocking Drama, Million-Follower Blogger Exposed, Knowingly Became the Other Woman." The internet never lacked gawkers. In the blink of an eye, the video passed 10,000 views. After 1 hour, it reached 50,000 likes and shot up to 170,000 shares. The operations team stared at the numbers, eyes shining. Nora, we're blowing up. Nora, we just gained 50,000 followers, and the streamer, has she calmed down yet? Hurry, get on the live stream. We'll name tonight's show, The Legit Wife's Closet, specializing in slapping mistresses. Those rallying cries instantly fired up the whole team. The streamer was full of energy, and once she stood in front of the camera, the atmosphere exploded with excitement. Ladies, look here. This is our hottest winter coat, the very one that the mistress tried to smear. First, check out the silhouette. Girls, is this coat gorgeous or not? Gorgeous. Is the mistress annoying? Annoying. Are we buying this coat or not? Buying. She cheerfully twirled around as she continued the pitch. Ladies, remember, this is the legitimate wife's closet. With this coat, you'll never lose your way when slapping a mistress. Guaranteed marital bliss. This time, we absolutely will not let any side chick step on our heads ever again. I watched the order count skyrocketing in the back end while the PPT file on my laptop remained unsent. I hesitated for a moment. Black PR or red PR, either way, it was heat. The PPT contained facts and clear data. If I posted it, there would definitely be bloodshed online, so I decided to use it to fuel the live stream momentum. The next day, we streamed non-stop until the entire warehouse was emptied, all thanks to Lily Hart stirring up trouble. Once the live stream ended, I immediately contacted the factory for another batch of orders. Meanwhile, the internet was in chaos. Lily hired a bunch of paid commenters to defend her, but it stirred up no real traction. Instead, her comment section was flooded by an enormous wave of angry netizens. Most of Lily's fans were women, and women never go easy on mistresses. Just overnight, she lost 200,000 followers. Past 3 a.m., Lily was still online. I smirked to myself. She was definitely too furious to sleep. I slept wonderfully that night. The next morning, I posted the PPT on social media. I tagged Lily Hart and our livestream account. 1 hour later, when the livestream resumed, I watched the massive traffic pour in again. That night, I received an unexpected call. "Hello, Nora," Ethan King's voice sounded exhausted. "I just heard about everything. I'm sorry for causing you so much trouble. I'll handle Lily." I didn't care much and replied calmly, To be honest, none of this caused trouble for me. If anything, it brought in a lot of orders. Honestly, I didn't mind if she kept making noise. In this era, traffic is king. Whether it's good PR or bad PR, exposure is what matters. With the insane mistress drama mixed with Ethan King's name, the traffic alone could last at least half a month. You started a company? Congrats. I hope your business goes smoothly. I blinked, surprised. It sounded like he had nothing else to say but forced himself to find a topic. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. I also wish you and Lily happiness. Ethan let out a soft laugh, his tone unreadable. Nora, she and I are impossible. I don't care, I said flatly, hung up on him, then called the factory. As soon as I ended the call, my mother phoned. She sounded excited. Nora, I found a business partner for you. She's the young lady of the G family. Her name is Gia G. I used to take you to play with her when you were little. Do you remember? The next day I met Gia G. She wore a white suit, her long black wavy hair perfectly styled, her makeup bold and glamorous, her whole aura elegant and powerful. When she saw me, she extended her hand. "Nice to meet you, I'm Gia G." "Nice to meet you," I replied as she gestured for me to sit. "My aunt kept praising you," she said. "She said you're well-mannered, hardworking, and destined to succeed. She also told me a bit about your business. Coincidentally, I saw some news online lately. Yenchi Style is doing light luxury women's fashion, so I figured you must need fabric. And conveniently, I own a textile factory." I thought for a moment. "Is the quality reliable?" "Of course," she replied immediately. She lifted an eyebrow. "The quality is the best, and I can even give you a preferential price." Hearing that, I smiled and raised my glass. "Then here's to a pleasant partnership." "A pleasant partnership," she echoed. Just like that, one more worry was gone. As long as sales stayed steady, I was certain I could make money. When I returned to the company, the operations staff hurried over. "Nora, look, Lily Hart sent us an apology. She even announced she's quitting social media. Her million-follower account is gone." I was a little surprised by the outcome. Ethan had always kept his word. If he said he'd resolve it, he would definitely shut down the rumors. But I didn't expect he would make Lily delete her account entirely. Considering Ethan, her only other income source had probably been doing sponsored posts as a blogger. Looks like he didn't care about her as much as I thought. So much for being his white moonlight. In the end, she was nothing more than a speck of white dust on a shirt. After that, I stayed incredibly busy, and before I knew it, Lunar New Year was approaching. Vanna asked me out for hot pot. We ordered an extremely spicy pot. I dipped a piece of fatty beef in the boiling broth, took a bite, and immediately sighed in satisfaction. "Ah, so good, Vanna. You have no idea, I've been so busy lately I barely have time to eat. Just grab a bite then work again. This is heaven." She pouted. "Who knew you'd be this busy?" Then she leaned in conspiratorially. "Hey, do you know what happened with Lily at last night's party?" I took a sip of cola. "What happened?" "Ethan attended the party and brought his female assistant. He didn't let Lily come. When Lily found out, she stormed into the venue, slapped the assistant, and called her a fox." I burst out laughing. "And then?" "With Ethan's pride, he must have been furious." Vanna nodded vigorously. "Exactly. His face went black immediately and he yelled at her in front of everyone. Word is they're still fighting, and Ethan even kicked her out of the villa." In wealthy circles, social events were constant. I was always the one accompanying Ethan. If I was busy or couldn't attend, his assistant would accompany him. In that world, this was perfectly normal. But Lily, of course, believed the assistant was seducing Ethan, so she caused a scene right there in front of everyone, embarrassing both Ethan and the host. Truly petty and lacking class. Afterward, I heard more rumors. Ethan had always disliked manipulative women. After learning Lily had once harmed me, he went abroad for work and ignored her for a long time. Meanwhile, the King family never treated her kindly either. Lily was basically swallowing bitterness whole, unable to complain. The two of them dragged on, their relationship fading, losing the warmth it once had. After eating, Vanna and I headed to a bar for drinks. Unexpectedly, we ran into Ethan there. He was sitting alone in a corner, drinking sadly. When he saw me, his eyes lit up. "Want a few drinks together?" Before I could even sit, he opened a bottle and pushed it toward me. I shook my head. "No, you have a girlfriend now. I'm afraid Lily might show up and slap me too." He stayed silent for a moment, then said flatly, "We broke up." "I don't think we have any reason to drink." I grabbed Vanna and left. When we sat back down at our table, my phone buzzed. Ethan had transferred $5.2 million to me. Vanna's eyes widened. What the hell is he trying to pull? Doesn't he know late affection is cheaper than weeds? I didn't even react. He's insane. I immediately transferred the money back to him. Then Vanna and I drank until we were completely wasted, stumbling back to the hotel and passing out as soon as we hit the bed. When I woke up again, I was startled awake by my mother's call. Her voice was panicked. "Oh my God, finally. You answered. Ethan King got into a car accident. Hurry and get over here. I'm waiting at the hospital entrance. Quick, I'm holding a place for you." A car accident? Retribution came fast. At the hospital entrance, I sat in the car, waiting until I was bored out of my mind. My mother had been rushing me like the house was on fire. Yet she was the slow one. I had already waited nearly half an hour. Eventually, she and my dad appeared, slowly walking toward me with the trunk full of gifts. I hurried over to help carry 2 boxes. "It's freezing, come on, let's go." Yes, what floor was it? The 6th, I think. When we reached the room, the only person there was Lily Hart. Ethan had gone for further examinations. The moment she saw me, her eyes reddened and she lunged at me. "You butch. This is all your fault. You cling to him like a ghost that won't leave." My mother immediately blocked her, pushing Lily backward. "Where did this crazy woman come from? Why are you hitting my daughter? Security, someone drag this lunatic out." Mom shoved her hard, hands on her hips, cursing non-stop. Lily fell to the floor but kept screaming at me. "If not for you, A-King never would have abandoned me. It's all your fault, seducing him. You ruined our relationship." I couldn't help laughing. Wasn't she the one who took the money and dumped him back then? And now she had the nerve to yell at me? Please, at least know who the real mistress is. Mistress? My mother instantly locked onto the keyword. She spun toward me. "This is Ethan's first love?" I nodded. "Yeah." Immediately, my mother lunged forward, grabbed Lily's hair, and slapped her hard. "You betch. You ruined my daughter's marriage. Damn it, do you know how long it took for them to get engaged? They were finally about to marry into a wealthy family, and you destroyed it. You bullied my daughter. You ruined my dream of having a rich daughter-in-law life." She smacked Lily again and again as she cursed. Lily wailed miserably. "You all think Ethan is so great," Lily screamed back. "He eats from one bowl while staring into another. If he had any loyalty, how could I come between you two? Blame him." She wasn't wrong. After breaking up with Ethan, I had investigated Lily. I found out she had become a professional mistress. After taking the money and leaving years ago, she could have built a good future for herself. But once abroad, after squeezing her way into high society, she found a wealthy man to be his mistress. For years, she bounced between rich benefactors until she crossed the wrong one. The legal wife caught her in the act and swore to kill her. Terrified, Lily ran back to the country. Not long after, she started clinging to Ethan again. "Nora Lane, let me tell you," Lily yelled. "Ethan got into that accident because he was trying to protect me. He still cares about me. He's never forgotten me. You can't beat me." Before she could finish, my mother slapped her again. "My daughter might not beat you, but I sure as hell can." I frowned, watching the chaotic scene. I waited for my mom to let out most of her anger, then stepped forward and pulled her away. "Enough, Mom. This is a hospital." Mom reluctantly stood up, though she still kicked Lily once more for good measure. Just as she steadied herself, she suddenly froze. I followed her gaze and saw Ethan King sitting in a wheelchair, members of the King family standing behind him. I had no idea how long they'd been standing there, or how much they had seen. My mother quickly regained her composure and forced a smile. "Oh my, I heard that. King only got into that accident because of this woman," my mother said quickly. "So I was just venting a little on his behalf." As she spoke, she quietly hid behind me, looking very much like someone caught beating another person in someone else's hospital room. Truly not a great look. I originally thought Ethan would seize the chance to get angry, but instead, he simply shot a cold glance toward Lily Hart. "Get out. I don't want to see you anymore." My mom and I exchanged a look. The butler immediately stepped forward to pull Lily away. She clung to Ethan's wheelchair, refusing to move, crying and screaming. "No, Ethan. You can't treat me like this. You can't kick me out. I love you so much." But a professional mistress? Where would she find real love? If she loved anything, it was his money. Ethan slowly reached out, peeling her fingers off the armrest one by one, cold, firm, emotionless. Her sobs faded as she was dragged away. Then he turned to me. "Everyone leave," he said. "I want to speak to Nora alone." The people in the room exchanged subtle looks, but eventually stepped out, leaving just the two of us. I saw Ethan lower his head as if gathering his thoughts. I already knew what he wanted to say, so I spoke first. "Ethan, don't tell me you want to get back together with me." After a long moment, he murmured, "Yeah, Nora. I only stayed with Lily to spite you. She and I stopped being compatible long ago. Will you forgive me?" A humorless laugh escaped me, born entirely from exhaustion. "You were hurt by me, so you ran to Lily to patch up your bruised ego. But you didn't expect her to be so useless. Other than spending money, she only knows jealousy and making scenes, embarrassing you everywhere she goes. So now you suddenly remember all my good points. I looked him straight in the eyes. But if I went back to you, it wouldn't be long before you started remembering Lily's good points again. That's what happens. You think what's far away is fragrant, and what's close smells foul. Ethan, between me and Lily, you never loved either of us. The only person you've ever truly loved is yourself. My words were cold, final. Ethan looked down at his broken leg, then suddenly covered his face and burst into tears. I'm sorry. It was my fault. I know I was wrong, Nora. Seeing him like that, the frustration in my chest quietly dissipated. I let out a soft sigh. Ethan, don't say things like that anymore. It only makes your feelings and your love seem cheap. I turned to leave. As I passed him, he suddenly grabbed my hand. I froze, neither looking back nor speaking. After a long struggle, he finally let go. After the new year, my factory officially began operating, and I even opened a new live stream channel. Everything in my career was going smoothly. On the day of the grand opening, I used the money I had earned recently to buy my mother a new Hermes bag, worth $130,000. She was so happy she couldn't stop smiling. The next day, she carried it everywhere to show it off. When she came home, her face was glowing. Nora, some of the ladies still haven't been able to buy this bag yet. You really make me proud. A few people even asked about your wedding, but I told them no. Honestly, I think you shouldn't get married anymore. Just focus on making money. Ha ha ha. Imagine it. Your father and you both earning money to support me. I'd die of happiness. I couldn't help laughing with her. Now that she had finally let go of her old obsession with marrying into wealth, I felt relieved for her. Maybe she was tired, or maybe she'd realized it wasn't necessary anymore at her age. I teased her. Mom, you don't have to chase high branches anymore, because I am your high branch now. She burst out laughing. Then she leaned closer and whispered, Do you remember that girl Lily Hart? Oh my, let me tell you, her life is miserable right now. The ladies in the group said she became someone's mistress again, even got pregnant, but then tried to provoke the legal wife. The wife turned out to be ruthless, beat her so badly she miscarried. They say she might not be able to have children anymore. Mom curled her lips. Serves her right. Then she asked, You really don't plan to forgive Ethan, do you? No, I don't. My eyes drifted to the new jade bracelet on her wrist. She immediately tried to cover it. Oh, actually, Ethan didn't ask me to persuade you or anything. He just gave me a small gift. Under my stare, she finally stomped her foot. Fine, I'll return it. I won't accept anything from him anymore. You can buy me everything from now on. Would you choose peace over fighting for someone who never chose you? Love and Lies story.